Some wildlife species are incredibly difficult to protect despite global conservation efforts. Whether due to their elusive nature, hostile habitats, or human conflicts, these animals remain some of the hardest to safeguard. The Javan rhino is one of the rarest large mammals, with fewer than 80 individuals remaining in Indonesia's Ujung Kulon National Park. While poaching has been largely curbed, habitat loss and genetic bottlenecks make recovery difficult. Efforts to expand their habitat have been slow, and their extreme sensitivity to human disturbance makes relocation nearly impossible. The pangolin, often called the world's most trafficked mammal, faces relentless poaching for its scales and meat, particularly in Africa and Asia. Conservationists struggle to protect them because they are nocturnal, solitary, and have low reproductive rates. Even when confiscated from traffickers, many pangolins die in captivity due to stress and dietary needs that are difficult to meet. Vaquitas, the world's rarest marine mammal, are on the brink of extinction with fewer than 10 left. Found only in Mexico's Gulf of California, these small porpoises frequently drown in illegal fishing nets set for the lucrative totoaba fish. Despite bans and patrols, illegal fishing continues, driven by black market demand in China. Captive breeding isn't an option, as vaquitas don't survive in artificial environments. The snow leopard, a ghost of the mountains, is nearly impossible to monitor due to its remote, rugged habitat in Central Asia. Camera traps and GPS collars have helped, but they remain difficult to track. Human-wildlife conflict also complicates conservation, as herders often retaliate against snow leopards for killing livestock. Poaching for their pelts and bones persists despite international protections. The Kakapo, a flightless parrot from New Zealand, is another species facing extreme conservation challenges. Once nearly extinct, the kakapo population has slowly increased thanks to intensive management, but every individual is monitored and cared for. They only breed in specific years when removed trees produce fruit, making reproduction irregular and difficult to encourage. Their vulnerability to predators means they can only survive on isolated, predator-free islands. The Chinese giant salamander, the world's largest amphibian, is critically endangered due to habitat destruction and poaching. Once widespread in Chinese rivers, it has been driven to near extinction by pollution and demand for its meat. Conservationists face challenges in protecting wild populations, as most individuals now exist in commercial breeding farms that don't contribute to genetic diversity or reintroduction efforts. The Philippine eagle, one of the world's largest and rarest eagles, faces an uphill battle for survival. Habitat destruction remains its biggest threat, with deforestation shrinking its range every year. These eagles also reproduce slowly, with only one chick every 2 years, making recovery slow. Conservationists have tried captive breeding, but raising and releasing these birds into the wild has had limited success. The Saola, also called the Asian unicorn, is so elusive that only a handful of confirmed sightings exist. Living deep in the Annamite Mountains between Vietnam and Laos, this antelope-like species is rarely seen by humans. It is threatened by poaching, though it isn't the target. Snare traps set for other animals unintentionally catch them. Conservationists have yet to establish a successful breeding program, and with no known individuals in captivity, the species remains a mystery. The Sumatran orangutan is critically endangered due to deforestation, illegal pet trade, and human conflict. Found only on the island of Sumatra, these great apes struggle to adapt to shrinking forests. While conservationists have established sanctuaries and rehabilitation centres, reintroducing them to the wild is difficult because they require large territories and have complex social structures. Palm oil plantations continue to encroach on their habitat, making long-term protection a challenge. The axolotl, a unique amphibian native to Mexico's lakes, faces an ongoing struggle for survival. Pollution, invasive species and urban development have devastated its habitat, leaving wild populations critically low. Although axolotls thrive in captivity, conservationists have been unable to restore wild populations due to continued habitat degradation. Without large-scale ecological restoration, their survival in the wild remains uncertain. Protecting these species requires creative solutions, sustained effort, and cooperation between governments, scientists, and local communities. But in many cases, habitat destruction, poaching, and human-wildlife conflict make conservation an uphill battle with no easy answers.